but we are a special set, guys. We brought home the championship. Oh my goodness, we actually did it. Let's go. We actually did this. I'm actually so hyped. Our first draft league ever, we bring home the championship. That is amazing. We played.
You know, a lot of people like get it kind of twisted in a way that, you know, it's believed that, you know, I have a vendetta against Rick and, you know, what he stole from me. That's certainly not the case at all. You know, that battle in particular, you know, understand, like, my team was a lot different, you know, from the first time I played him back in week 2, and he understands that as well because, you know, his team was completely different. You know, and he exploited he exposed the one flaw that my team had, you know, and I think moving from that, like I took that as a learning experience of, okay, I need to learn how to, you know, switch into these certain things a lot better, as, you know, as opposed to just, you know, what people believed to me was just sit, pout, moan, and, you know, throw him out the water, basically, right? Because, you know, he hasn't come back ever since, and a lot of people think that it was my responsibility, that it was from my actions, from my behavior. Like, yes, like, have I been toxic from time to time? Sure. You could say that. Like, you could totally make the argument of why my behavior can be deemed toxic, but, like, at the same time, like, understand, like, I did not fully plan out a whole, like, I didn't map out an idea, like, okay, now that Rick beat me, I'm going to run him out the league. No. It wasn't like that at all.
I think it's a simple case of that the pressure got the best of the laddie. New deal about that. You know, not everybody can be, you know, put in a spot like Jason Park, but, you know, it's a learning experience. So you just gonna sit here and lie to me that it was all because he didn't have a Brave Bird switching? Yo, come on, son.
Like I really mean it when I say this. Like, I learned a lot after that final. Like, the way I built my team the next season was completely, it had a totally different mindset, right? So I used that final to understand that the way I was losing, like, I promise you that it's not gonna happen again. And that's what was my whole mindset was going into, you know, the next season and things like that.
Who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was.
We're getting into, you know, it's time to, you know, the docs reset already, and we're getting into the, you know, the tiering part of it. Actually, no, it probably was before the doc was actually reset. Like, we were in the process of resetting it because it took like multiple days that day due to scheduling and all that. And Rick brings up the point of, why are you guys banning Melmetal but you're keeping Mega Metagross? Now, my logic for doing that was, you know, banded Melmetal doesn't have switch-ins like that, whereas, like, you know, the thing is, like, my logic back then was, okay, well, Mega Metagross has to hold the stone all the time, right? But, like, and it gains all this speed from Mega Evolution, but, like, pretty much any bulky ground type can, you know, hold the fort down, right? And I thought that, I thought it was a given that everyone would draft ground types in draft, but apparently that wasn't the case. And all of a sudden, I get a DM from like 3 days after, the argument of re-allowing Melmetal to come back, and all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna play next season. I was like, you just won season 1 and you're gonna leave pretty much because I'm not allowing Melmetal, but I'm allowing Mega Metagross. Now obviously, now looking back on that incident, I look really, really dumb doing that. But I was just shocked that, you just won a championship and you refuse to defend it because of my tier list. And by the way, like, he reached out to me thinking that he felt entitled, right? Like, he felt entitled in the sense of, okay, I won the championship, so I should be, part of the, the tier list tiering committee. In reality, the tiering committee was just me and one other person. There was no giant big group. Now, I run other leagues that are not NDL, and we have a bigger group to fully discuss things, right? But at that time, NDL was still, transitioning over from regular Galar decks with G-Maxes to actual Nat decks. And I thought that I did the best that I could to handle, the National Decks metagame draft-wise. And I thought, with the exception of like a handful of like things being a little too expensive, I thought that I did the best that I could with the tier list. And it's just really sad to see, Rick just get up and walk out. And then, like, once the league got traction in the future seasons, he'll still talk every now and then whenever he knows that I'm fixing the tier list. He'll always say something clever. I think clever is the polite word to describe his comments during my tier list discussions. But at the end of the day, right, I don't mess with him in UGL tiering, even though I'm admin over there. So I just make sure that you don't mess with me moving forward. It's still all love. It's still all love at the end of the day, but I think that particular incident, kind of led to the end game of NDL, honestly. And I don't know if I should thank him for that, because like it really sucks that like I never played, like I only played Rick once in all leagues combined. I've only played Rick once after that final, and I think it would have been really nice to have a rematch in season 2, but because my tierings were so outrageous, he got up and walked out on it. And it is what it is. I can't go back in time and try to make him stay. That's his decision. So we just move on to the draft. We just move on to the draft from there, honestly. My team must have been broken, because I don't know how all that felt to me. This ESPN 30 for 30 is sponsored by the Pokemon Deity League. The Pokemon Deity League just completed Season 6, and their first season with promotion and relegation has been a complete success. So please, if you are interested in joining PDL 1 or 2, we have room for both leagues regardless of your skill level. We'll put you in accordingly to fit, and all you have to do for now is join the Discord link in the description. Again, the Discord link for the server is in the description, and you will be notified when applications are live. Thank you, and now we proceed to your regularly scheduled program. You know, going into draft day, right? I had fourth overall. I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna get something broken. I mean, it probably won't be the most broken thing, but like, I'll find a way to get something broken, right? So, I'm sitting, and I'm revealing the draft order one by one, and then because I go from 16 to the top up, so when I pull fourth, I'm like, okay, all right, so let's see who the top 3 is. And I see the top 3, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I for sure thought that first overall person, right? I thought that coach would, take the mega that was the most broken, right? But no, it went G-Max, and then as soon as the third pick went Mega Lottie, I was like, wow. Like, I'm really out here. And long and behold, I get Mega Metagross.
I really mean this when Eli talks about any accomplishment in any draft league period. The sooner he realizes that the only reason why he is doing these wonderful things in draft is because the IQ level of his competition is the equivalent of a 3-legged dog. So the sooner he realizes that, the sooner he will stop talking highly of himself.
And then round 2 comes around, I'm like, oh man, like, there's something that's really gonna pair with this, but this is a round 1 Pokemon.
Not everybody can draft what I drafted in Trickhouse in Tapu Fini Garchomp Mega Arrow. But I think what Eli did instead in this league in particular with Mega Metagross Clefable, like, maybe Jacobs can take a few notes here and there if he's watching today. That's all I'm gonna say.
Once the final roster was done, like once the draft was over, after getting the Dragon Fairy Steel off, it like I felt really confident knowing that, okay, like, this is my team. Like, is it a good team? Maybe not. Do they work well together? We don't know. But it's stuff that I felt comfortable that I've either used myself before, that I felt like this is gonna be a good mon for me to use. Like, it's either that, or it's just going to be a teammate that will ultimately help me win a championship. And that's why I drafted the things that I drafted. They're very unconventional, but I think they do get the job done in certain situations.
This is the spoiled brat product of those billions of witnesses out there. This is the guy I've been talking about as he's been the front-running bully all year long, and he finally got punched right in the mouth, and he ran to the locker room in shame. I have been saying for months on this show that
this man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth.
People need to open their fucking eyes, blood. It's done. He's finished. He's finished, blood.
Yeah. The media was right. I think starting the season off 0-2 with the team that I had is unacceptable. It really isn't. Especially my week 2. Week 1 wasn't entirely my fault, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll just say that he got, I don't know what he needed to get to win, I guess. I don't know. But week 2, I got manhandled. And I felt that, maybe this team isn't the style of team that I want to work with. And I really debated about, moving pieces around. Was I still going to keep my superstars, my superstar captain and my superstar tier 1? Yes. But the teammates around it I felt were very lackluster at the time, simply because I was 0-2, and I was just frustrated with, I was afraid, like, okay, if I lose week 3, then I'm really in a bad spot, and I felt pressured to win out from there. However, week 3 rolls around, when I had a teammate set up for Metagross. At that point, I felt like, okay, I can. This is my team now. Did I dodge the will-o-wisp when I wasn't supposed to? Yeah, but in my defense, I think it was justice from week 1, and that I think that's how things balance each other out. But that's not what I'm trying to say here, okay? Because you look at the roster, it's the same as it was on draft day, and to be honest with you, I really thought about tearing it all up. But if I didn't win that game, I probably was going to tear it all up and rip it apart and use up all 5 of my free agency and stuff. But with that being said, because of that result in week 3, I not only, understood my team of how I needed to win, but it also gave me confidence that I can win with this team. Okay, after week 3, it made me realize, right? Like, look, we have Metagross. It is strong. Now, how can we make it stronger, right? And with the exception of week 1, every single game after that came down to who set up first. Whoever set up their sweeper first wins the game. If I set up first, then I win the game. If I don't set up first, if they set up before me, then I'm in the back. Then I'm on my back foot to, make sure that I don't get, completely swept, right? And I felt like I did a pretty good job of that, based on my differential, right? And, I was really glad that I was able to keep the team the way it is, because the more games I played with the team, the more I understood what I needed to do to win. And that confidence really helped me become better come playoff time. And I think without it all started from week 3. No question about it.
I've got. We're in the quarterfinals, and I've seen tweets already. Oh well, we could concentrate on the league now, and oh yeah. What the fuck are they on about, man?
So I finished the season 4-4, but my differential was good enough for me to get 7th seed. So my matchup was a week 7 rematch, and the week 7 rematch, the end game was there. It was a really close game, but I really felt that, because in prep I was so scared of Magirna going into it. As soon as I don't see Magirna on the screen, I'm like, okay, that kind of messes things up for me quite a bit. As soon as the battle started, and as soon as the first turn happened, I was already in a back foot. So all the times I've been, that was probably, that battle was probably just it was really weird, because he didn't even need to set up to start off strong. He just came out of the gates firing, and I couldn't stop it.
I think the optimal play here was for Eli to just grass knot or even hyper voice here, because Donphan was the most obvious sack, and by volt switching he just took more burn damage than needed to in that turn, which was really unfortunate for Eli endgame.
And so we go into the actual playoff game, and he doesn't bring Magirna again. So I wasn't as thrown off as I was in regular season. But as soon as I was able to, get the double right with Swellow, I knew that I was going to be in a good spot, because not bringing Magirna once again just allowed Swallow to pretty much boom for free, honestly. And then the same thing happened with, in semifinals too. Just, calling out doubles and going into Swallow on a potential double really opened the game up for me. Despite the fact that, he had, my semifinal opponent had cool tech. I'll give him that. You know what I mean? Like, counter Chansey to take on the one Metagross hit and return the damage back. That was pretty nice.
But the real tank in this game had to be the Avalugg, allowing Eli to, rapid spin freely to get rid of rocks and other things, while, dealing damage, was pretty clutch in the end game for Eli, and that's how he pretty much secured his final spot against my friend Will.
Honestly, I don't remember, much from that day other than that particular battle. I remember because when Rick beat me, he told me that he cleared his whole schedule. He didn't even want to eat. He basically cleared his whole day to focus on winning a championship. And I kind of took a similar approach. I told my mom, like, look, I don't want no gifts. I don't even want to go out for dinner. Okay, I just want to win this, and that's the greatest gift that, like, I could ever get right now. But at the same time, right, I was scheduling with Will, like, look, can we do so and so day, right? And he's like, okay, yeah, this day in the evening is fine. Yeah, I told Will, let's go play on the 1st at 8. He was like, sure, but I didn't tell him that it would be my birthday, because if I were to tell him I wanted to play on my birthday, A, he would feel really bad for me, and he would probably, like, try to reschedule, and so that way I could, like, enjoy my birthday. And B, if I were to tell people and then I lose on that day, like, that would really suck. So I had to keep that, birthday stuff on the low. I did my prep, and then literally the whole day I got up and I just rewatched all his battles. I rewatched the battle I had with him, going all the way back to week 1. And I noticed something that, would have really helped me deal with the G-Max Lapras that I didn't have before. So going into the final, I knew that the one thing I needed to stop Lapras from setting up and winning the game was to bring Unaware Clefable. 110%. I think Unaware Clef allowed me to take on the curse variant of G-Max Lapras, or just simply stopping the D-Dance variant, which ended up happening in the actual battle. And even then, like, it was still very tricky for me to play around that, honestly.
I think if Eli, it was kind of like, he, in a hindsight thing, that he took 2 hits with Araquanid there, not realizing that was a low roll that he received on the first Max Geyser in the rain, was probably not very optimal of Eli.
I think, in long story short, it was a really hard-fought battle from both sides. It just came down to who wanted it more, honestly. I hate to put it this way, because, but at the same time, like, it's a final. Anything goes, right? But I started a PvP war, essentially. And you could just take a wild guess who won that one.
I still don't know how I don't know. I don't know. It's been a whole year and I still don't know how I got to that result. Like, everything was such a blur to me, and when the flamethrower, oh man, I don't know. I really don't know.
You know, look, there are only two of us that know exactly what this meant. Me
And Eli.
and I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when it's better not to say anything.
I'm really happy that my friend Eli won the league, because now I get to celebrate with nachos and frozen yogurt.
I don't think you could write a better redemption arc than the one that I had. I still believe I should have won season 1. It's just that my team construction wasn't there. But once I had real team construction, once I, stuck with what I did instead of making transactions left, right, and center, once I started to have faith in what I drafted instead of just shipping things off, and to really, have confidence in, playing the game and building, and it just all came full circle in that final for me. And for that, I thank everybody that was there to watch it from draft day all the way to the end. And for that, I thank you.
Here, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Eli the Rebel. I am freaking I'm so excited, bro. Like, I'm really 24 now. It's crazy. It really is crazy out here. But you know what, man? Like, I'm just here to have a good time. You know me, right? You know what I'm saying? I know it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. I really put this is easily the hardest video that I've done on my channel by far. I put in, I would say, 2 weeks of editing, recording, grabbing clips, grabbing music left, right, and center for this thing. And the fact that you guys, watched it to this point really means a lot to me. I've grown so much as a player. I've slowly been welcomed into the community, and I've made myself my own person. Don't ask me. If you would have asked me like 2-3 years ago, do you see yourself doing this? I would have looked at you with crazy eyes. But with that being said, now that we're here, remakes are coming up in in a little over 2 weeks from today. Really moving forward, I'm not really, gonna go jump right into Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl like that. I joined the Disguised Pokemon League, the DPL, just for something to kill that time gap in between BDSP and Legend Arceus. It's gonna be, a Natdex league similar to what I run over in PDL, but we're just gonna have fun with it, right? I'm not gonna be, most of the leagues that I've been doing, I've been asking people for help building wise and things like that, but this I'm gonna be doing like all by myself. Everything from the building to, obviously the video thing is all me, right? But I'm not gonna be asking people for help with, prep or anything like that. It's just gonna be all me, and whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? It's just a league, something, to kick back. It's a kick back, relax kind of league. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching this documentary. It really means a lot to me. You guys don't understand. Again, it's been your boy Eli the Rebel. I'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.